Welcome to the final video of PixInsight for Beginners, where we're going to compare our original image that we did in under 10 minutes with the image that we've slowly been building up over the last few episodes. So stick around if you'd like to see whether it was worth it. G'day guys, Paul from Paulyman Astro, and as I said, this episode is simply here to compare our original image with the image that we've spent the last few videos working on. We want to see, was all that time and effort worth it? Can we really tell the difference? And my hope is that at the end of this episode you'll say yes, there really is a difference and it really is worth the time and effort. And you'll already have, if you've been following along with the videos, you'll already have a set of processing icons that you can use to produce these images nice and efficiently, nice and quickly, and get the best base image that you can. There should be a link to the videos up above. I highly recommend if you're a beginner to start there, because you're going to learn how to produce the image on the right that we're going to see shortly, and you'll get a set of processing icons that you can use over and over again to produce images of the same quality. A wonderful base image to work further from. This is the image that we got to in part 5. So I'll quickly open up the original image we saved, which I called example. And we created this in under 10 minutes, if you've seen the first episode, which is quite nice. And here it is. So I'll pop that to the side. So this is the image we created in under 10 minutes. And then in the remainder of the episodes, we've gone through and tried to further refine this image. And possibly at this scale, they don't look all that different. The background in this one on the left is perhaps a little darker than on the right. But if I start zooming in and compare the two images, we'll probably very much see the difference in the two images. So if I zoom in to, say, this dark region here, which I like to keep coming back to in the episode so we can see it, and I compare that to this image over here, we can hopefully really see the difference that noise reduction and PCC have made. So in the image on the right, the one that we quickly created, firstly there's a lot of noise in that background, and there is very much a green cast across the background, whereas the image on the left has much less noise. There's still a little bit of grain, but there's much less noise, and that green cast really isn't there. If I zoom, come across to the nebula, maybe I'll stick to this side this time, and then I compare that to my original image we created. Again, there is a huge amount of noise in this darker region here, less so in the brighter part of the nebula, but there's a huge amount of noise in the background here that just isn't here in this image. This image is a lot smoother. The transition from the dark sky to the nebula is much smoother, and also the contrast in this image is better than in the original image, because screen transfer function is designed to essentially overstretch the image so that you can really see what's going on, including all the noise in the background, and that is at the expense of contrast, and obviously it shows up all the noise. Over the last few parts, we have gone to great pains to try and make sure we reduce that noise in the background, and we've also been much more careful with the stretch that we applied. So hopefully you can see there really is a difference between these two images, and it really is worth your time to create these processing icons and go through this simple beginner step-by-step approach to stretching your image so that it looks really nice. I mean, it's night and day the difference between these two images for me. And that's it for the series. That's it for PixInsight for Beginners. So that's it. That wraps up PixInsight for Beginners. Hopefully you do think that it was worth the time and effort that we put into producing the image on the right that you saw. and hopefully you've made your processing icons so that you can keep producing images of this quality nice and easily. You don't have to keep remembering settings. That's the whole point of these processing icons. It makes your life easier. From this point, I am looking at creating a PixInsight Beyond the Basics set of videos. I'd love to hear in the comments if you've been following through. Did this help you out in any way? Have you produced better quality images? Have you found PixInsight not so daunting? And is there anything you'd like to see in PixInsight Beyond the Basics? I'll definitely be looking at what's called masking, and I'll definitely be looking at curves. But if there's anything else you'd like to look at, let me know in the comments. As a final little extra, if you've been following along with these videos, you've seen me working on some Lagoon Nebula data. I've provided a link in the description to that data set for you to use as you'd like. If you do post it anywhere, just please do acknowledge Paulyman Astro. But hopefully you can then follow along with the videos. You can use these techniques to see, yes, they really do produce what I've shown you, and hopefully you've then got your own data sets that you can start working on. If you're not already a subscriber and you found this series useful to you in any way, please consider subscribing and clicking that like button. Thanks for watching.